Hello there, Abundant Life Living community. It is I, Coach Tonya Bryant. I am a transformational coach. I teach women really how to transform their lives through shifting their mindset. In addition to that, come next, or actually, it'll be Thursday, I will be graduating with my Master of Social Work degree with a clinical emphasis. Shortly after that, I will take my licensing test to become a licensed clinical social worker. So, yeah, super excited about that. At any rate, I want to welcome you all to a dose of encouragement where I provide encouragement, motivation, and inspiration to help you take action to move forward. And I'm just absolutely thrilled. The work that I do really though starts with our mindset because it's this beautiful mindset. It's the attitudes and clusters of thoughts with attached information and emotions that generate a particular perception that we use, which is called our mindset, to really move us forward, to move us into the things that we should be doing. And if we don't have the right mindset, it can hinder us. And if we allow emotions that go unchecked, such as fear and doubt and unbelief, to to take a hold of us, then we can't live that abundant life, the absolute fullness of life. And so I am here to give you some strategies and tools. And so we have been talking on the dose of encouragement for the past couple of weeks. We've been going over my book. That's right. Becoming a Fear Overcomer, a guide for living an abundant life by yours truly, Tonya Bryant. And I am just really excited. We are currently on chapter 6. There's 9 chapters in this book. It's a very quick read. You can see that it's a smaller book. If you're interested and you want to order it, I encourage you to go to my link tree. So linktree.ee, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, /coach TLB. There's a link, the very first link when you open it up is to my book. So I encourage you, go get my book. Go learn what steps do I need to take to become this fear overcomer, to overcome fear, to overcome certain things that is keeping you stuck. Right. So again, you can go and get my book, Becoming a Fear Overcomer, by going to linktr.ee /Coach TLB, Coach Tonya Bryant, and get it. And when you order it from me, you can also go on Amazon and get it. However, when you order it from me, I will write a personalized note to you thanking you for supporting me. So bless you, bless you, bless you. All right, so let's go ahead and just dig on into this. I'm super excited. Even as I reread this, it's like, okay, because this is my very, very first book. And so there's many more to come. Now that I'll be graduating, I think I'll have a little bit more time, and it's not so much time, but I'll have a little bit more focus where I can start back writing and just coming up with content that's going to help you live that what? The abundant life. So here we go. We are on chapter 6. Each one of my books, if you've been following me, or each one of my chapters in my books, that's right. I'm manifesting, I'm calling those things forth. But in this book, each chapter starts with an emotion. Starts with an emotion. Ooh, let me get it together. Starts with a affirmation or a quote or a quote from an individual, famous or unknown, right? So this for chapter 6. Let me get it together. The title of the chapter is Fear as an Emotion. And so the quote that I use comes from H.P. Lovecraft. And actually, let me do this. I have a little PowerPoint. And so This is the quote: "The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown." Wow and wow and wow. I want you to, you know what, let me read that again. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. Let that sit with you. And you know what? I apologize. I did not put the author. That's H.P. Lovecraft. And he was, or she, they were, let's go with they, were a science fiction writer. They were a writer. And so, because I remember this because I know there was a really cool sci-fi series that was on starring Jonathan Majors a couple years ago, and I loved it. And um, they got the, I forget the name of the series, but they got the series. It was kind of this um, sci-fi, futuristic, really just kind of out of the pocket uh, series, which was absolutely cool. And it had a lot of Black folks in it, and I loved it. And the reason I know this name is because they took it from one of their books. And so H.P. Lovecraft. So again, our quote today is: "The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear, and the oldest and strongest kind of fear is the fear of the unknown." And that is so powerful. Again, understanding that fear, the title of this chapter is fear as an emotion. So let's get in. It is important to understand that fear is simply an emotion that we can control. When we allow fear to run rampant in our life, we can be adversely affected emotionally, mentally, and physically. It can cause physical and emotional damage. According to Psychology Today, fear is a natural, powerful, and primitive human emotion. It involves a universal biochemical response as well as a high individual emotional response. Fear alerts us to the presence of danger or the threat of harm, whether the danger is physical or psychological. To get a real understanding of fear, we need to explore and understand what an emotion is. An emotion is a natural, instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstance, mood, or relationships with others. Let me give you oh, you know what? And I have it here. Let's do this. Oops. Emotion is a natural, instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationship with others. And so, additionally, emotions and biological states associated with the nervous system brought on by neurophysical changes variously associated with thoughts, feelings, behavior, responses, and a degree of pleasure or displeasure. So let me read that again. So, additionally, emotions are biological states associated with the nervous system brought on by neurophysical changes. So, neuro, your mind, variously associated with thoughts, feelings, behavior, responses, and a degree of pleasure or displeasure. So, again, our emotions are wrapped up in our thoughts, our feelings, our behavior responses, right? I believe emotions are so important to our well being. We need to cry. We need to laugh. We need to empathize with our fellow man. We need to feel. Through our emotions, we're given the opportunity to genuinely express ourselves. Emotions can have a negative or positive impact on our lives. However, we must learn how to control them and them not control us. So we've been taught that, emotions are almost bad, and they're absolutely not. They're a necessary tool for the existence of our human existence, our human life. However, many of us have not learned how to check our emotions, how to get them in control. We need to express anger. We need to have laughter. We need to cry. We need to have joy. We need to experience all of them. However, we have to learn how to manage them, how to control them so they're not controlling us in a negative way. However, so our emotions function through perception, sending us messages about what we might perceive in our environment. So when we allow fear to control us, our perception or ability to perceive and see things will be affected. Because perception is involved, it can cause things to become bigger than what they are and things to become gravely skewed. Have you ever heard of the saying, you're making a mountain out of a molehill? That statement manifests when you begin to stretch the gravity of a circumstance or a situation. Unchecked fear grows and grows. So, unchecked emotions, whether they're good or bad, are going to grow and grow. It's much like when something is rolling down the hill. It starts off as a small ball. However, as it rolls, it gains momentum and grows as it gains momentum and grows as things stick to it, causing it to become a massive ball, right? When our emotions go unchecked, I mean, you've seen people that are unhinged. They haven't gotten control of their emotions. How many of you seen like those scary movies when one person starts freaking out? I mean, they start freaking. What happens is their emotions are getting the better. Their emotions are controlling them, right? Their emotions are unchecked. And then there's the heroine or the hero of the whatever. They go and they slap that person, bringing them back, causing something to happen to cause them to stop and take control of their emotions. And it says, likewise, and this is the last part, and then we're done with this chapter. Um, and so, just a side note, one of the things as I'm looking at this book, I want to expand it. And so there's so many chapters that I can expand so much more because this is a short chapter. I did that intentionally. And again, I was nervous and didn't really know what I was doing. And so that's why many of my chapters are a lot shorter. However, I got it done. I overcame that fear, right? So likewise, unchecked fear can grow like the ball rolling down the hill, causing it to become the detriment of you. Remember, fear is just an emotion, and you can take control of it today. Yeah, this chapter needs to be so much more. However, it really is a little bit more kind of um uh, technical to some degree because it's talking about the emotion. And if we don't understand the emotion, we cannot then begin to control our fear, right? We have the power to control fear. Fear does not control us. But oftentimes we allow fear to control us, and then that stops us from living the abundant life. That stops us. It was the fear that stopped me back in 1986 from pursuing social work. And me not knowing how to grapple with my fear, how to overcome it, it got control of me. It got control of me. However, May 9th, when I graduate, that's me overcoming my fear. When I wrote this book, that was me overcoming my fear. What are you ready to do to overcome your fear? You are a fear overcomer. You cannot continue to allow fear to to permeate your being. You cannot allow fear from robbing you of your destiny, from robbing you of your purpose. It's time for you to become a fear overcomer. Okay, I just had to get that out for a minute. So, as we always do, is I always, in each one of my chapters, we always have a chapter. At the end of the chapter, we have 3 questions for growth, 3 questions to expand your understanding. So, number one, how do you control your emotions? Side note, do you control your emotions or do your emotions control you? Number two, what does your life look like when you allow your emotions to control you? 3, how do you take care of yourself emotionally? Mm. We've got to learn how to take care of our emotions. So we got to learn how to cry. I was talking with a client and I was talking about how oftentimes our society has told us, and specifically young boys, don't cry, stop being a baby. Almost then programming our children to think that if I express my emotions, that it's a negative thing. And yes, we have to learn how to allow them to express their emotions. And they have to learn how to control their emotions. But you must feel, you must allow your emotions to be present in your life, right? If not, you become these stoic, pent up people. And then what happens is we push down our emotions, and then something happens in our life that causing it to explode, and we lose control. See, we've got to learn that emotions are beautiful, emotions are necessary and needed. And we have to learn how to control them. Feel the feeling. Feel the feeling. Just don't allow that feeling to make you do something that can bring harm to you or to someone else. All right. Well, we are going to stop. I want to thank you so much for joining me for a dose of encouragement where we have been reading what? Becoming a Fear Overcomer, a guide to living an abundant life. Scrolling across the bottom of my screen is the link that you can go to purchase my very first book. Right? It's time for you to walk in your overcoming power so that you can do all that you're supposed to do, that you can go forward to be, to do, and to have all the good that you desire. I want to thank you so much for joining. I will be on uh, again next week. I may pop on, especially since I'm graduating this week. I may pop on again, but go live an abundant life. And I want to thank you so much for joining. Bye now. Talk with you soon.